We outside living proof. Prophesying this place up in smoke like that nigga Snoop. Same crackers had you in slavery telling you get a noose. We got them same crackers coming bowing down, kissing boots, licking dust. Come get with us and you get this truth. Don't ask why I don't go to church. Ask Dylan Roof.
Brother, let me talk to you, brother. Did you hear what happened last time? Brother, did you hear what happened last time to the Morris brothers that came up here? I don't know if you was with them, but it got dark. It got real dark for them brothers, man. I want to talk to the Moor. Let me talk to the Moor. Brother. He said he loves us, but he don't want to talk to us. He don't want to talk to us? That's not love, brother. Can we talk, brother? I got some questions about the Circle 7 Quran. I believe that too, but can we dialogue, brother? Hey. Can we talk about the Circle 7 Quran? Can we talk about that?
This one quality. Water seeks its own level.
I'm sorry?
Water seeks its own level.
I didn't hear that? Water seeks its own level? Are you saying we're not on your level, sir? I mean, I have a car, you're on the bus, so I mean, I think I'm a little bit above your level, if that's the case. But anyways, I know why you don't want to talk. You claim you're from the Moabites, which are the Asians, which doesn't make any sense. Oh, we're definitely the same people. You're just in a different ideology, that's all. It's not a problem. We're not going anywhere, brother. You coming back? You coming back? All right, I'm going to hold you to your word, brother. What's going on? Excuse me, sir. Can I talk to you, sir? Can I talk to you for a second?
Right. Yeah, what is?
Yeah, you talking to my brother. I want to talk to you, actually. You know what I mean? Does that sound intrigue you, or what's that? Oh, yeah, that's my brother right there. You talking to my brother. What's going on? How you feel about Kanye?
I don't know. I was asking him what happened.
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah.
You Portuguese?
Yeah, I speak Portuguese.
Is your family from Portugal?
It's mixed, you know. Some parts are from Portugal, some from Italy, some from Africa, some native Brazil.
What's that?
Your family's indígena?
It's mixed. Part Indigena, part white, part black, part
What about your father and your grandfather?
Which side?
Your father or your grandfather?
But like my mother or my
No, your father's father.
Okay, my father's fathers are from Bahia.
Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil.
He's indigenous to Brazil.
He was from Brazil.
How do you feel about the Bible?
I think there's a lot of truth, but I think it needs interpretation.
It's what?
It needs interpretation.
It's an interpretation.
I think you need to interpret it. You can't just read it.
I agree. But do you read it? Do you believe in God?
I do.
Okay, great. So, were you reading that sign earlier as well?
What is it?
You read the sign, right?
Yeah, I read. I don't know what he
You
said.
familiar with Kanye? You know who Kanye West is?
The singer, right?
Yeah, singer, rapper.
Yeah.
Have you heard about what he's been saying?
No.
You don't watch the news at all? You don't keep up with like, the hip-hop culture and all that?
Kinda.
Okay. He's saying that black people are Jews and that Jewish people run pretty much the world, essentially. And they're basically chastising him in the media for his comments, saying he's anti-Semitic, which he can't be. You know what a Semitic person is, or what that is? What does Semitic mean?
Semitic or anti-Semitic?
Either one. What is anti-Semitic?
It's just like they're against Jewish people.
You're against Jew. What does Semitic mean? What is the Semite?
I'm assuming they're the Jewish or people that are friendly with them.
Interesting. All right, let's get the definition. Pull up the definition of Semitic. And let's see if they're right. No offense to you, because they're trying to monopolize that terminology, and it doesn't add up. You know what I mean? What's your name?
Brian.
Brian? Nice to meet you, brother. Read.
Semitic, relating to or denoting a family or languages.
A family of languages. Read.
That includes Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages, such as Phoenician and Akkadian, consisting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family.
You hear what they said? The last part, especially the Afro-Asiatic family. Jewish people, they have afros?
It
Or are they
depends.
Caucasian?
Are you talking? Yeah, are you talking about the Israel
Israelis.
of the Bible or the one that
I'm talking about the people that are saying, yeah, he knows most of them. I'm talking about the people that are on TV saying they're Jewish, that are white as snow.
Yeah, there are two. There's the Bible Jewish and there's the 1948 Israel Jewish. I know.
So you're familiar with the state of Israel and how that came to be, or at least about that particular circumstance, how they got there. So being anti-Semitic would have to mean that Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, who's another person that's speaking out about our particular heritage of black Hispanic Native Americans.
Now I ask, is he talking about who's Jewish? Like I mean,
Well, he's basically saying that,
usually he's referring to the Africans or to the
well, he's saying that he can't be anti-Semitic because he personally himself is Semitic, which we just read. It's a language group first and foremost, but it belongs to the Afro-Asiatic culture. And we know for a fact those Jewish people who are Caucasians, they don't have afros. They don't speak the original Hebrew that this is talking about. They have a made up. They have a made up Hebrew. We're learning new things every day. I have a particular book. Give me my book. It's a cold book by the Nation of Islam. The one right there, the blue one. Yep, this one. It's called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. The Jewish Role in the Enslavement of the African. And you know what's so special about this book? That the scholars from the Nation of Islam, you know what sources they use to fact check this information? All Jewish scholars, all Jewish sources, rabbis, everybody that's a quote-unquote Jewish person, they use them as references in this book. So that people that want to portray themselves to be Jewish, they can't refute it. They can't refute their own people, right? Would you denounce your own people if they spoke truth about the history of their own people? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Oh, shoot. He's talking for the entire nation. The people that are asleep.
But you know, a lot of people only speak when they censor speak.
What do you mean?
Like people in places like he is, it's mostly puppets. They don't really talk.
Oh, well, no. Kanye, why would they chastise him?
I
Why
mean,
would they demonize him in
how
the
I
media
feel.
if they want him to speak on that?
What I mean, don't you think that all of these artists up there, they don't kind of have the same vibe, like kind of a same footage, like same symbolism in their video clips?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
He's like an occultist. He's like a Freemason or something like that. I'm familiar with that, but I believe Kanye reached a certain plateau and he snapped out of it. I would say he snapped out of it. He woke up spiritually because he's exposing a lot of information that they probably don't want him to say. He just said something yesterday that they've been sacrificing people. He said that. And that's part of like what they do in that realm to be famous, to be a celebrity. So him saying that he's a Jew, nobody's ever really said that outside of a few people that, but he's basically prolonging that type of jargon, you know what I mean? And he's saying that Jewish people run everything, but our culture, our true culture as quote unquote black people are a Jew. We're the Jews. Floyd Mayweather said it, Kendrick said it, Kodak Black said it. They're all saying they're Israelites and Jews. Why? Because that's the true information that's been hidden from us in the Bible. And if you're an indigenous person along with your family, you would go back to one of the 12 tribes as well. You say you're born in Portugal or where? Or Brazil? You were born in Brazil, right?
I was born here in San Francisco, and I grew up in Brazil.
Oh, okay, you moved back out there. Okay. So there's a lot of mixed races out there, though. I know there's some Spaniards and all that type of stuff, and Portuguese. Yeah. But the main point of the sign, like I said, Kanye is exposing the truth. What we've been preaching for a long time. Not necessarily us at this particular standpoint. As far as the black people, the Hispanic people, Native Americans, that information has been pushed to the masses since the 60s. But it's at an all-time peak now since a celebrity saying it. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think they kind of like take you guys' identity, like they take the information, or they
You talking about Jewish people?
what I mean is like, let's put the fake ones and the real ones. Do you think the fake ones, they just play a new version or they are copying
I
what?
mean, they're doing a little bit of both. They're definitely portraying themselves to be the Jews of the Bible, but they don't believe. Most of them don't even believe in the Bible. First and foremost. Most of them don't even believe in God. The people in Israel have one of the biggest homosexual parades in the world, and they're dying of skin cancer at a rapid rate in Israel. Why? Because they don't have melanin. You been to Israel? Just like a vacation or something like that, or
Yeah,
like a tourist type of thing, right?
yeah.
Okay, I need to go there too, but I'm not sure if they let me in. They probably mad at me. But you know, I think Madatu and the elders over there right now, though, or they were over there probably last month. But anyways, the point is, you say you believe in the Bible, right? Okay, you believe in who the world calls Jesus Christ? You believe in who the world calls Jesus Christ? No, who the world calls Jesus. You believe in Jesus? Yeah, is that Jesus right there?
Personally, I don't think as Jesus now, based on like what I live, I don't think of him as like who he was, but I try to think as his consciousness. That's all I can
Christ
act.
consciousness.
Because
I've been hearing that.
I couldn't be there, you know, like if I wasn't there to see his manifestation, no matter what they're gonna tell me, it's still like borrowed. If I could see by me, borrow like land. It's not my own experience seeing Jesus, you know what I mean?
What about other history though?
What?
What
So
about-
yeah,
what about-
the Bible says that, you know, the Bible says that he was like darker.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what I mean. So who's that?
Yeah. This is, you know.
That's called white supremacy right there. And that's why they went to Brazil and Central and South America and brought that picture there and told, I'm assuming that you will be indigenous. So, I mean, there's two parts of this. If you're indigenous, you're a people. If not, you be a slave master and you go into slavery. But I'm just going to entertain you as our people as for now. So I'm just saying, though, they would bring that to the indigenous people and say, hey, this is your God now. Get down or lay down. Get down or die. A lot of people chose to die. And guess what? Generations later, now you look at the white man like, oh my God, he's so powerful, he's so extravagant. Now he has an upper hand on us, like economically, financially, and militarily, especially. He can inflict his will on people through his military might. But in all actuality, God gave him that gift for us being disobedient as Israelites of the Bible, for breaking God's laws. Give me that in Revelation. What she's about to get. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 2:9. I know your thy works in tribulation and poverty.
Are those Jewish people in poverty? Are the Jewish people in poverty today? Are they?
I mean, which Jewish are you talking about?
The white Jews. The white Jewish
No,
people.
because they're not
They're
really.
they get billions of dollars a day.
Like they're calling themselves that, right?
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean they are, you know.
Exactly. That's my point here. So this is Jesus' words in Revelation, talking to the real Jews. I know your works, tribulation, and poverty. You would say blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are the people that fit the description, right?
Sorry?
Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans fit the tribulation and poverty aspect of this, right?
Yeah, the whole, even like things they say that happen in the other side, like in the West, where the in Palestine area,
That's an Eastern
are
hemisphere.
things that,
It's a Western hemisphere, it's an Eastern hemisphere.
yeah, I've seen already like information saying that there was they inverted. They take the whole history and take for themselves as the other place, but this was happening, the whole Egypt thing, Moses, all happened in Americas. And they, yes, I've heard that.
America's Egypt.
I don't know if
pretty much.
it's true. I don't
Of
know.
course not.
It's an
Of course not.
information, you know.
People are saying America's Israel and Egypt and things like that.
So see, yeah, but not the, but I'm not talking about this new power. It's about the people they take over when they came here.
Yeah, but
They came here, take the land and the history. And first,
I mean, of course, but there's still history books on everything. But I know what you mean, though. People are saying that this side of the earth is really what happened over there. That's just.
that's something I wasn't there. I don't know, but it made me think like it's possible. You know?
I mean, there's definitely one major discrepancy in that belief.
Even like what they say
multiple discrepancies, but I was going to point out the main one why that can't make sense. Because a lot of people are saying that America is Israel and Egypt is like South America, nonsense like that. But
Even like the 12 tribes, the South are actually the 12 native tribes that we could find before in
well, I
America.
do believe that the tribes that came over here, they're from Israel though. Give me my other book. You know what I want? Give me that other book real quick.
Because think about it, like they say the land was flowing in honey milk. It means it was a very like good
Yeah,
land.
they could grow everything. They had all types
But-
of minerals. And,
But like if you go to Brazil, for example, we export food to the whole world. It's a very fertile land. And if
Absolutely.
you go there, it's like just desert and there's no much.
but that was already prophesied in the Bible though.
You know.
You know what I mean? They still grow things out there, but as far as as of today, I understand what you mean. So you're saying that
I'm not saying I'm considering.
what's that?
I'm not really saying. I'm just
Yeah,
considering.
I understand what you mean.
know what I
Based
mean?
on logical
It could be.
points.
It could be.
The land of milk and honey is here because they had so much things here before they got conquered. I agree. I agree with that, but here's the thing. Let's just entertain what you said just now. This is the land of Israel, right? America, or wherever we're at on this side of the earth. The Israelites had a temple, correct? A temple where they sacrificed them, correct? They had a temple, according to the Bible, right? And in the Bible, it says the temple got destroyed twice. Where's the temple at in America?
Oh, if it was destroyed, I don't think you can find it.
But you can find it in Israel, Palestine.
Yeah, but if it was destroyed, how can you find there?
But pull up Telerod. Let me show you something. And I'm gonna show you this too. See this book? Discovery of Ancient America. You know what this is? This right here? This is an artifact in New Mexico. This is called the Los Lunas Stone, with the Paleo-Hebrew writing of the Ten Commandments in New Mexico. So we know for a fact. What's that? Because they came over here. We don't get that in a second. Go ahead.
So this is the prophet Ezra. This is second Ezra's 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
The Northern Kingdom, who we would classify as the indigenous, Hispanic, and Native tribes that are over here, like you just said, who actually constructed the Ten Commandments on this artifact. They were in Israel, and they were captured by the Assyrians, and they came over here later. That's how they got here. That's how all the Hebrew artifacts are in America. They came from over there, over here. And I'm proving in prophecy, right?
And he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land.
And what?
They came into another land
Right?
in Assyria. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelled.
So they were in captivity. They was like, man, we got to get up out of here. And the main catalyst to them leaving, because Assyria was at war with everybody at that time. So they weren't necessarily watching the captives. So they were able to get on boats and come over here. Go ahead.
And they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
It took them a year and a half to get from the Middle East down the Horn of Africa all the way to America. And this is obviously thousands of years ago. So they didn't have like the steamboats taking this coast there, you know what I mean? Right?
And the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come.
So Arsareth, that's a key phrase. This is in it's in the original King James, but yeah, but this is the thing. They took out this book right here. It's the Apocrypha. So if you look at a regular King James, there's 14 books that.
That's the thing too about about the Bible, like I think there's a lot of truth on that, but I also think there's a lot of censor, a lot of new translations, and you translate again and again and again. It changes the meaning a little bit, you know.
I agree.
That's why I think you gotta be always like kind of one step back in the sense of like, okay, truth might be even deeper than what I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
Well, I agree with that aspect of what you referenced. The newer translations give it different meanings, but we still have the original manuscripts that we can go back to. There's concordances that break down the Hebrew and Greek words, all that type of stuff. And history is way better than all that, you know what I mean? There's historical references we can go to, like how we just read in the Bible, or the part of the Bible they took out. Arsurif is a key term that went to Arsurif. Let's go to the encyclopedia and see what scholars say what Arsurif is. Read.
So this is the Jewish encyclopedia, the Encyclopedia Judaica, and it's called "The Name of the Land Beyond a Great River, Far Away from the Habitation of Man."
The great rivers, they're talking about the Atlantic Ocean for the most part, right?
In which the 10 tribes of Israel would dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration, according to 2nd Ezra or 4th Ezra, and that's how it got numbered 4th, but it's really 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 45, which I just read. And Columbus identified America with this land.
Columbus identified America with this land, Arsurif. That's how Columbus knew to come over here.
What was the verse again?
2nd Ezra, it's ESDRAS, 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, or 13, chapter 13, excuse me, verses 40 down to 45. And I'm gonna show you some history.
But in the Portuguese or in Spanish, and we got it numbered as 4, right? But like in Spanish or Portuguese, they might have it numbered as number 4, but it's really 2nd Ezra if you look.
Yeah, the second book of it.
2nd Ezra, yeah, chapter 13, verse 40 and 45 down.
In the Spanish it says Las Americas.
Oh, where at?
Right there. Arsurif, Las Americas.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Hey, do you understand Spanish a little bit?
Sí,
Okay, mira, let me see. Okay, este versículo 40. El versículo 40 dice, esos son los 10 tribus del norte que fueron llevados prisioneros de su propia tierra en el tiempo del rey Osea, a quien Salmanasar, el rey de Asiria, llevó cautivo y los llevó sobre las aguas y así entraron en otra tierra. Pero ellos tomaron este consejo entre ellos, que dejaran la multitud de los paganos y se irían a un país más lejano, donde nunca había habitado la humanidad. Pero que allí, espérame, versículo 41, pero ellos tomaron este consejo entre ellos, que dejaron la multitud de los paganos y se irán a un país más lejano, donde nunca había habitado la humanidad, para que allí guardaran sus estatus que nunca cumplieron en su propia tierra, y entraron en el Eufrates por los estrechos pasajes del río, porque el Altísimo les hizo señales y detuvo el diluvio hasta que pasaron. Versículo 45. Porque a través de ese país había un gran camino por correr, es decir, de 1 año y medio, y la misma región se llama ISRAELITES, las Américas. So this was written. This is a Spanish translation. I'm sure que también lo tienen en portugués también. You know what I mean? But like when it was saying that the Israelites, see, you gotta understand that the nation of Israel was split at one time, right? It was the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom went into captivity to Babylon, but the northern kingdom was the first ones. Los 10 tribus del norte, they were the first ones that went into captivity into Assyria. Once they got there, they plotted with themselves and we need to get out of here. So they came to America, and Christopher Columbus already knew that. They said that they got his Bible in what's the name of that museum that they be having all the important stuff? The Smithsonian. They said they got his Bible in the Smithsonian with written notes on the sides. So he knew how to come over here. And also they even talked about it in this one movie called 1942. What's it called? 1492? So basically he was looking at maps, and he was trying to get, first he went to the King of Portugal, he went to Italy, and no one wanted to give him his money to come over here. So he tried to pitch it to the Spanish crown, let's go west. So one of the dudes was like, why do you want to go west? He says, we know that this place is over there. How do you know that? He goes, Prophet Ezra knew that there's a place out west. The dude told him, but he's a Jew. Why are you going to believe him? So Christopher Columbus knew that these people came over here from the east. And there's proof of that even in the indigenous writings, like in Pupulhu, which is a sacred writings of the Maya. They say they came from the east from the rising sun. And they came all the way over here. So this is how it's proof that we know that the indigenous from North, Central, and South America, we are the Israelites of the Bible, man. And not only history, archaeology proves it, but prophecies prove it in the Bible too.
That's right. Hey, man. Repent, brother. I know we see you every week. Repent. So I'm trying to pull up this article, because like I said, they found Hebrew artifacts everywhere. And actually, let me point out this. This is, yeah, show them that. This is over in Palestine. That's the Temple Mount for the temple that was destroyed. King Solomon built it, and it was rebuilt in the time of Ezra when they were in captivity to the Medes and Persians. That's how you know America's not where Israel was based at. Because that's the Temple Mount. That's how you know. And the Israelis don't have any, they're not allowed to go over there. They know it's over there. So the Israel you just went to, that you traveled to, how long would you go to Israel? That wasn't the real Israel.
No, you went to Jerusalem. No, that's not the real Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's not the real Jerusalem.
You went to Jerusalem?
Yeah, that's not the real Jerusalem. That's a tourist site. You know what I mean?
I can't say.
That's a part of the landmass, but the temple is where Jerusalem, over there in Palestine, where they're bombing and have an open air prison.
Also, like when you got the Holy Sepulchre, where they say that Jesus was born, and all those churches. You know who built that? Queen Helen, the mother of Constantine, right? Because she was like a diehard Catholic, you know what I'm saying? She was like zealous and all that. So she went down into Israel and she was asking all these people, you know what I'm saying? Mostly Palestinians at that time, or people that lived at that time. It's like, where's this and this and this places? And people were just saying, oh, it's over here, it's over here, it's over here.
I heard, like, if you go to Egypt, they're going to tell you that there's a Sinai Mountain there. I don't know how to say it, Sinai, right?
Yeah.
And then if you go to Israel, they're going to say there's a Sinai Mount there, because it's a tourist area, you know?
That's what it became. That's what the Jerusalem is at today. It's a tourist site. It's all money. But this is how wicked those people are, right? Because like going back to the words of Christ, look what he says about these people. Look what he says, man. So if you believe in Christ, this is his word. This is his words. He says, Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty. He's talking about to the Jews and to the children of God. It's the real Israelites right here. He said, I know that tribulation and poverty. The people that call themselves Jews today are not going through poverty. Most international banks are owned by Jewish people. You know that, right?
IMF,
The IMF,
Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve here in the United States, they're all owned by Jewish people, let alone the United States since...
I think by now you guys should give them a new name. You guys shouldn't keep calling them, using your name for them.
Yeah, this is what it says. Watch this. Tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
The chief house of Satan.
The chief house of Satan. So this is the words of Christ. He's warning the children of Israel about these people that claims to be Jews but are not. Those people are so wicked.
You know, I think even in the church you can see that. Like, you can see how church has become a business here, you know, like, yeah, man.
But yeah, I found another one on. You heard about the Hebrew artifacts in Puerto Rico they found? Go to the next article. Actually, no, read one of these. I'm just gonna read one of these. Go ahead.
Okay. This is
Then we're gonna talk about Brazil. Brazil's in the Bible. You know that? You know Brazil's in the Bible? You heard about that before?
Directly, no. Like, the closest I heard is, like I said, it was if the history was inverted, but not directly, like.
Well, there's prophecy about the native tribes coming over here, and it describes your people.
I would like to hear about.
We gonna go there in a second, right?
So this is Puerto Rico and Haiti may possess the best guarded secrets of pre-Columbian civilizations.
Keep going to the article.
In 1893, Nazario wrote a short article titled Escritura Aborigen de Caribe, which is Aboriginal writing of the Carib, in which he explained his interpretations of these carvings.
This is 1800s, right?
After thorough analysis of the stones and their inscriptions, he dismissed an Arawak Taino language origin. And by
So it's not an Arawak Taino origin, because that's Puerto Rico, quote-unquote Puerto Ricans are known as Taino Indians. But he's saying the language they're speaking isn't Arawak or Taino, right?
yeah, the inscriptions in these rocks that they found. And by 1897, he concluded that the writings were more reminiscent of the ancient Hebrew. Comparing this discovery with the spoken Taino language his day, Nazario discerned words in the Taino Arawak language that were Semitic in origin and pronunciation.
So the Taino Indians are speaking Hebrew, but they're called Puerto Ricans today. But they're really one of the 10 tribes of Israel that we just referenced that came over here from the east, out of Assyria. And I'm gonna show you another proof text in a second. Read.
One example is the Taino name for the supreme spirit of spirits, which is the supreme God, Yahya.
Yahya. That's cool. Because in Hebrew, the Most High, the Heavenly Father's name, and you heard of the Tetragrammaton, right?
Yeah.
How do you?
I don't know much about it. I
It's a,
personally.
but the letters, though, YHWH, right? That's a Tetragrammaton, 4 letters. That's what it means in Greek. Yahya is like a broken name that they're referencing.
It's a
But,
attempt to say the name that can't be said, you know.
well, no, the Jewish people say they can't say it. We can say it. It's Yahweh. That's his real name. Yahweh is the Father's name. Yahweh. So they're saying Yahya in reference to the Great Spirit, as they call it. Read.
One example is the Taino name for the supreme spirits of spirits, Yahya. By comparison, the God of the monotheistic Hebrew culture is known by the abbreviated form of his sacred name, Yah.
Keep reading the next one. I'm reading the next one. Well, that's pretty much the justification of it. So they try to disprove these writings. You know, the people that don't want to believe that the indigenous people are Israelites, or even black people are Israelites. They think, oh, well, the Jewish people have the final say. That's why when
Hard to rethink, you know, to clean up what you learn.
exactly.
Like they say, it's easier to fool you than to convince you're a fool, you know?
True. That's right. And if you grow up in a society that doesn't tell you where you come from, like the indigenous people in this land, and black people as well, what are you going to believe? Oh, I'm just black. We just came from slavery. We just came from West Africa. Like, what else? Where else? What else do we do? But when you read the Bible and study ancient history and artifacts and prophecy, you realize we all match up with the Bible. So I want to read. You ever went?
I got to follow up on that. I got in the Bible. My
No,
phone being
you-
slow. So I got to follow up on that too.
Okay. Yeah, read what you got. I'm gonna show you something about the native Indians, and I'm gonna get into Brazil. You know what I want? You know what I'm 33?
Yep. I got that.
We're gonna talk about Brazil as well, right?
So this is out of pop-up archaeology. Secrets of mysterious stones artifacts revealed in the Israeli lab. He took it all the way to Israel. This is how. wicked people all over there. Ancient statues from Puerto Rico, once again, have been made by members of the lost tribe, the 10 lost tribes of Israel, traveled to Haifa for examination. The origins of a collection of mysterious statues from Puerto Rico, long ago believed to have been made by Jews or the 10 tribes or the lost tribes of Israel, exiled from the land of Israel in ancient times, are now closer to being understood thanks to Israeli archaeology.
Exactly. You can't get around history and archaeology. The writings, you can go, okay, we can interpret the writings all we want. But the history and what we dig out of the ground, like this is on the side of a mountain. This is like it's like as big as this, bigger than that. It's a mountain, and they try to deface it. If you look close, well, I want to. If you look close, they try to deface some of it on this side because it had the tetragrammaton written there. They try to erase it and scrub it off.
Even in Brazil, you have like deployments. A lot of natives complaining like how some white folks go there and they show them sacred places and they just take everything. They just carry it.
In Paraíbas of Brazil, they found inscriptions of Canaanite origin.
Yeah.
Remember that stone?
Even in Rio de Janeiro, you have Phoenicia.
That's what I'm saying. It might be the same one. It's called the Paraíba rock inscription. Paraíba rock inscriptions, and it's written in Phoenician, right?
Yeah,
All of them are like ancient.
where does the Phoenicians come from?
Yeah, right.
Where they come from?
This is they started. They don't want to tell you in school.
Exactly. But where does Phoenicians come from?
They came
From Middle East, right? They're technically Canaanites, but that's a Paleo Hebrew. This is Proto-Canaanite. This is a Phoenician language.
We got proof that Solomon said.
Yeah, exactly. You get that 1 Kings 10. I'm gonna show you the history. I'm gonna show you about the Brazilians. I'm gonna show you that right now. Give me Deuteronomy 33.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 24. And of Asher he said,
Of Asher. Asher is one of the 10 tribes. Read.
let Asher be blessed with children.
Read on.
Let him be acceptable to his brethren.
Go ahead.
And let him dip his foot in oil.
That is what?
Let him dip his foot in oil.
What does that mean? Are you familiar with that? What is Venezuela known for? Venezuela.
Like oil?
The oil. They have the second largest oil deposits in the world. Brazil as well. But all that area, they're the tribe of Asher. God already prophesied, let this dip his foot in oil, because wherever you go in that landmass, there's going to be oil there. That's why they have so much outsourced of oil. Read.
Verse 25. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
Here's what?
Thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
What else is over there? What other minerals are in that Brazil, Venezuelan area?
So many.
A lot, right? A lot. That's what's prophesied in the Bible. And if you read that, just reading it, you won't think nothing of it. But
Which verse is
this is Deuteronomy 33.
Wait, what?
Deuteronomy 33.
Oh,
chapter 33.
Deuteronomy.
Exactly. So this is a prophecy of all the 12 tribes of Israel of what's going to happen in the future. So it's talking about let us dip his foot in oil and let his feet be brass. Why? Because there's going to be oil underneath their feet. There's going to be minerals underneath their feet. That's what it's talking about. Read. Is that it?
No, it's got one more. And as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
As I did, so that should be. So we get Genesis 49 real quick. But I'm gonna show you. Actually, no. Get the Hebrew for brass right there. Let's see what it means in Hebrew. It's cold. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is the Hebrew word. Let me read the verse first. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall be thy strength. This is the Hebrew word H1270, and it's barzel.
What?
Barzel.
Barzel. Does that sound like Brazil? It's close, right? That's what it's talking. That's a prophecy in the Bible. You got to go to the original language to get the full understanding of these things. All the Hebrew doesn't necessarily go back to a tribe or a landmass, but this prophecy is precise. Is narrowing it down to show what these people are going to be doing, what's going to be like an interpretation, not interpretation, but what's the word? A representation of who they are. You know what I mean? And I can give you more prophecies. Give me Deuteronomy 49 real quick. I don't know how much time you got, but I'm about to go into your tribes since you definitely could be our people. I definitely think you are people.
You said his father's an Edomite.
Is it? Oh, okay. All praises. You give me 1 Chronicles 7 and 30. Then we'll go into the Hebrew. We're gonna go into the Hebrew names for the sons of Asher, and it gets way more deep. Read.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 20. Out of Asher,
Out of Asher, read on.
his bread shall be fat,
His bread shall be fat. Go ahead.
and he shall yield royal dainties.
Dainties. What else is that area known for? What are royal dainties?
What do dentist means?
Dainties is like pastries or basically sugar.
Oh.
It's like, there's a lot of sugar down there too, right? Exactly. All of that. Is that it? Keep reading.
That's it. It's going in there.
Oh, that's all. So that's another aspect. Well, let's get First Chronicles and just seal the deal. Go ahead.
This is 1 Chronicles 7 and 30. The sons of Asher,
Read.
Imnah, and Isua,
Read on.
and Ishai, and Bariah, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Bariah, Heber, and Malkiel, who is the father of Birzavith. And Heber begat, he begat Japhlet, and Shomer, and Hotham, and Shua, their sister. And the sons of Japhlet, Pasak, and Bimhan, and Ashvath. These are the children of Japhlet. And the sons of Shamer is Ahi, and Roga, and Jehuba, and Aram.
Let's get some of these sons' names. Go to 34. Give me Jehovah first, because this is going to prove that the indigenous people of Brazil are Israelites, based on the Hebrew. We don't go into the Hebrew. Read.
So this is the out of Strong's concordance, which is the Hebrew dictionary, right? So Hebrew word 3160, Jehuba.
What does it mean?
It means it's a proper masculine noun, right? From the Hebrew, from the root word meaning hidden.
It means what?
Hidden.
It means hidden. There's a lot of undiscovered tribes in Brazil, right or wrong.
Even land. There's land that's
Exactly. And that's how you know they're from the tribe of Asher, because with the son of Asher named his sons, it's kind of like a what's it called, a ominomer. You know what an ominomer is? Kind of like, let's say my name was 9/11, and I was born 100 years ago. You say my name 9/11, and all of a sudden something happens. Like, wait a minute, that's my name, and that's kind of like you're basically naming a prophecy in a sense. You know what I mean? So the Asher is naming his sons in a prophetic way to know, okay, these people are going to be the sons of Asher in the future, because by name, it's in accordance to what's going on there. Because they are the most undiscovered tribes in the world. Even like you said, undiscovered lands too. The Amazon jungle is the most undiscovered place on earth, outside of the ocean. Right or wrong? Go ahead.
And this is out of the Jacenius lexicon. It's Jehovah, which means hidden or protected.
Hidden or protected. So they're hidden, and they can't. That's why they're cutting all them trees down, I'm sure. They're trying to say they want to get environmental stuff, but they're cutting them trees down trying to find them people. That's what I believe. They've been cutting down a lot of trees in Brazil for the last few years. You familiar with that, right? You got something?
Yeah, they've been, and that one president was killing a lot of the indigenous that's living in the Amazon. Like a lot of their elders and their tribal chiefs are coming up missing. I remember that female president was doing that too. ¿Cómo se llama la mujer esa? Yeah, that damn Edomite woman. She's straight Portuguese, man. She's straight.
I don't know how to explain that, but you can just kind of sense them, you know. And it's every country, like they've been giving people flags, but it's the same people governing like countries, and they born in the place, they learn the language, they pass as if they are.
And then they get up over you and run you
And you
and
can
dictate
tell
you.
they're not, you know. You can,
This dude's in the spirit. These are people. I'm telling you. You know a little bit. You familiar.
Right.
You live in America now. Are you from San Francisco? Yeah. That's all good. See, it's all history. You can't get around the history and prophecy, brother. You're an Israelite. You're an Asherite. You're from the tribe of Asher, brother. You say your name was Brian. You're an Israelite, Brian. That's what we're trying to prove to you. Out of everything we're saying, you're an Israelite, and the main message is return to your original culture. Your nationality. We can go to the Native Indians up here in America. We can go to the Brazilians. We can go to Puerto Ricans. We can go anywhere on this side of the earth. Mexicans, black people. We can go to every prophecy and prove that they're Israelites. Because that's what happened in the last. Give me Isaiah 33 and 6. Yeah, them Jewish people can't. You got a flyer, right? You got a flyer? You got the flyer. I gave you a flyer, right? If you go in that channel, and there's thousands of channels. Everything that we're teaching, we've been doing this for a while. But I'm just for your sake, if you can't come out every week, there's information you can watch online. All the historical references are there. Everything can be proven.
even this one, like I really would like to send to my friends in Brazil. Start talking about it.
Yeah.
Some people they need to see like more evidence.
Definitely.
Like, at least consider it, because I was raised in a religious. I was indoctrinated, you know. I see how it is. It's a very painful process. You know. Like nobody want to go to hell and burn forever. It's a big chance you're taking.
Well, that's a different doctrine. Hell.
Yeah,
You believe in hell? You
No,
believe in
no,
burn?
no. The way I'm saying, the way I was grown
Oh,
up.
okay. So you don't believe in it?
I don't believe.
Great. Bible doesn't teach
Like, yeah, this is to fear people and control them.
it. Exactly.
And
And
it's
who that come from? Though? That was preached back in Rome.
from
Greeks and
that,
Romans.
from this
The Greeks and the Romans.
this
They taught
figure.
that.
That's right.
They taught that as a fair tactic over there in Rome. You know what I mean?
And it's, and like I've tried to talk with some friends, but I can see how the fear is what holds them. You know, the fear to go to hell, or fear to be like being against God. You know, bottom line is an act of fear. You know what I
But you'll be
mean?
closer to God if you come back to your true nationality. Because this
Oh,
isn't
for
this
sure.
isn't a religion. The Bible's not about a religion. They made it into a religious universal aspect, but this was written by one set of group of people. The Bible is only written by the Israelites, period. What happened afterwards, other people, had their hand in it as far as formulating it and things like that. Different translations, white people may have had a hand in, but the original manuscripts and us having the history aspect and all is proven, even if you take the Bible out, like I said. The archaeology and the history itself proves who the Israelites are.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not taking the Bible out, but I'm just saying this is just for argumentation's sake. We know who we are based on the history and the prophecy.
And now is, I think you also have to, right, have to start
Exactly.
thinking on like, okay, what's next? You know, what's our next move? You know,
The next move is return to your culture, keeping the laws of God until enough people wake up to where a spiritual, divine intervention occurs. Because in all actuality, you know what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, right? That's in the Bible as well. That's already been written. Give me Ezekiel 37, or Ezekiel 38, excuse me. And you give me, you can pull it up afterwards. We can prove that Russia is in the Bible as well. It's called Russia, but in the Bible it's called something different. I want Ezekiel 38, and then give me the history on Meshach. Yeah, give me Meshach.
You still want Isaiah 30?
No, we can drop that. Because America's going to be destroyed. It's going to be destroyed.
Like everything that's happening right now with Russia and Ukraine was prophesied thousands of years ago. We're going to read it to you word by word.
Hey, man, the Bible's deep. Once you understand it, not by going
that's
to
like
it.
I said, you don't just read it and just literally, you know, you need
I
interpretation.
mean, there's literal things in the Bible, but if you
Not
don't have the
everything.
spirit to see and
Absolutely.
you don't connect to it, because a lot of Christians don't read the Old Testament. They don't want anything to do with the Old Testament. They read Proverbs and Psalms. They don't read anything outside of that. They're not going to the prophecies. They might read Isaiah 7, which is talking about who the world calls Christ, which is fine. But other than that, they're not going into deep breakdowns.
Because one thing I understand too, I'll be honest here, like I was reading numbers, and
Was that numbers?
numbers,
Yeah.
yes, I was like, I was hard for me to take that, you know,
What
like,
you mean? In what way?
like the things that they're supposed to do, or they're being told to do, or
Yeah.
that they could have the rights over the people they're fighting against.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was hard, man. It was hard to like.
God giving them command to go kill people. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, even do worse things, you know. So I mean, it's just hard to take. It might be it might be not, you know. Like I understand why people have a hard time with the Old Testament.
Well, they're gonna have a hard time when Judgment Day comes too.
Right.
I'm not saying other people. I'm talking about the Israelites that want to hold to that ideology just reference. Because God is a balanced God. They say God is love, but guess what? God created everything, right? So it means He created wickedness and evil and all that. He created the devil. He created Satan, right? So if we believe Satan is an evil being, which we believe it, but he was made for a purpose. God is both. He's a balanced person, like I said. He allows things to happen for a reason. To either you gonna get closer to Him or you gonna get further away into the abyss. You know what I mean? And it's all His will, by the way. But our job is to wake our people up and tell them, hey, there's a fork in the road right now. We want you to go right and choose life, as it's referenced in Deuteronomy as well. He said, I gave you this day life and peace, or death and evil. Choose life. Choose life. That's what we're telling you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog,
Read.
the land of Magog,
Read.
the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Prophesy against Gog, the land of Magog, Meshach, or the prince of Meshach. Let's see what Meshach means historically. Read.
Regarding, okay, this is out of the Oxford Bible, Oxford Bible Dictionary, right? Dictionary. Regarding Meshach and Tubal, it is sometimes, no, some assign a Russian identification.
The what?
A Russian identification.
So Meshach and Tubal is a Russian identification. Read.
Connecting these two nations with the modern Russian cities, Moscow and
Meshach means Moscow. Read.
Tobolsk. Tubal.
And Tobolsk. So the Bible is mentioning these cities by name in end time prophecy, saying Ezekiel prophesied against these cities and these people that live there. So we know back in the day, the Russians that are there today, those weren't the original people of that land. They'll be known as those are the Medes, right? Those are known as like Polynesian people, the Japhites. Those are Japhites according to the Bible. Those would be Polynesians as you know today. Those are the original Japhites of Greece and over in Russia as well. That's why there's a book called Russian Icons. If you look at a book named Russian Icons, it's all black people in there. That's why Russians don't have a problem with black people for the most part. Something called a black Russian, but originally black people were there. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Meshach being Moscow.
No, that's still on. Read.
Meshach is Moscow, and Tubal Tobolsk. The first view became well known through Schofield's study Bible. That primary reference is to the northern powers headed by Russia. All agree. The reference to Meshach and Tubal is Moscow and Tobolsk is a clear mark of identification.
That's how you prove it. So if you just read it, just like you say, just read it and don't know where they go as far as the history guys, you're just like, okay, well, Ezekiel's talking about something, you know what I mean? But this is the end time prophecy. But let's keep reading. Let's see what it says.
Thus, the name Moscow derives from the tribal name Meshech, and Tobolsk, the name of the principal state of Tubal. Now, going back to the Bible. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog.
The land of Magog. So not the people of Magog, because it was the people who would be known as the Polynesians. But the people that are living there today are also European. Read.
different. These are indigenous people of Russia live. Anyways. Okay. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal and prophesy against him.
Read.
And say, thus says the Lord God, behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech.
Whoever the chief prince of Meshach, today it would be known as Vladimir Putin. If it was to go down today, he'd be the chief prince of Meshach as of right now. We don't know when it's going to happen, but as of now, Putin is the chief prince of Meshach, right?
Chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws.
I'm going to do what?
Put hooks in thy jaws.
I'm going to turn you back and put hooks in your jaws. What's Vladimir doing today? Trying to take back those territories he lost. Which is what? Ukraine, Crimea. That's why he doesn't want the UN to push eastward into like Poland and things like that. Belarus, all those countries. Those all used to be his territories. That's why he's going so hard for Ukraine. Because they get Ukraine, it's like, you're right in my backyard. The enemy's in my backyard. I'm not friends with the UN. I'm not friends with America. You know what I mean? That's what he's talking about. I'm gonna put hooks in your jaws and turn you back into the Soviet Union. That's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Like in the ancient days, that's how you used to control animals. You used to move them around like that, by hooks in their jaws. And also, the capital of Ukraine today, did you know that that was the first capital of the Kingdom of Rus, which is their old capital? That's their very first capital of ancient Russia. Watch this. And I will turn thee, and I'll turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army.
All thine armies. What are all the armies Russia is talking about? Care about Russia? You familiar with the BRIC? Brazil, Russia, India, China, also Ethiopians, all that. They're all going to be intertwined with Russia, because that's kind of like the superpower, along with China, obviously. And America doesn't want no smoke with Russia right now. They have a little. What's it called? Alliance with China in a sense. But if it goes down, China's not going against Russia. They're next door neighbors. They're not going against Russia at all. But that's what it's talking about. All thine armies are going to be paired with Russia to go to war with America and their allies. Read on.
And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen.
Go ahead.
All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even the great company with bucklers and shields. And all of them handling swords. Persia.
Ooh.
Persia.
What's Persia?
Persia was
Iran, right? That's ancient Persia is known as today. Iran was Persia at one point in time. Read.
Ethiopia.
And we know Iran is not friends with America at all.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and I mentioned Ethiopia. Because quiet is kept. When Russia first went to Ukraine, you know what happened? They didn't put it in the news that much, but America attacked Ethiopia. Why? Why would America attack Ethiopia out the blue? Because they at least know the Bible. The quote-unquote Freemasons and people at the upper echelon, they know what's going on in this Bible. But God already set it up for them to lose, so what are they going to do? They just don't play right into his hands, you know what I mean? Read.
And in the Hebrew right there, when it says Ethiopia, it says Cush. Tell them what happened with that.
Ooh.
What's the country next to
Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia.
Somalia, they're back in Russia right now too. They're already sending. They're already sent.
it sounds like there's an unification happening, right?
Absolutely, of course. And for the most part, America runs the world technically.
Yeah.
Even though Russia and China is superpower, America can literally go anywhere they want, put their flag down, put their military bases there, and then siphon all the resources and then leave them in shambles. That's what they did to Afghanistan and Iraq. Russia was there first, honestly, but they didn't do what America did. They didn't try to put an IMF bank there. Because Russia got rid of that IMF bank, I think in the early 90s. Vladimir Putin's like, no, we don't need your IMF bank here because you try to put us in debt financially. So that's why they're so mad at Russia as well. But every country that didn't have an IMF bank, they went and attacked them. Iraq and Afghanistan didn't have one back in the early 2000s. That's why they conjured up the whole 9/11 plot. You know what I mean? Not just for the bank, but their gold and their oil, things like that. Read.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya.
Who?
Libya.
And Libya. What happened with Libya and Syria? What happened to Muammar Gaddafi? They tried to say he was killing his own people, right? But in actuality, that was one of the best places in the world to live as far as if you're a citizen there. If you get married, you get like $50,000. If you can get up for a whole year, they give you your own land, things like that. Then the kicker is he wanted to use the African resources to back the money. And that would have crippled the world. And America's like, no, we got to get rid of this guy. Because he's the one that convinced all the African parliament to back him up, along with Russia, obviously, to be like, okay, well, we don't need the American dollar no more. We actually have resources under the earth that we can use to back our money like it used to be in America before they made the Federal Reserve. You know what I mean, Reed?
And quiet as it's kept, you remember when Nixon took off the American dollar off the gold bar, right? And also, did you know what happened also with America in Saudi Arabia? They made Saudi Arabia, they had a deal that all their oil was going to be sold in dollars. And those are all Amalekites there too, the royal family there.
And I just seen an article, this is a brief sidebar, where Saudi Arabia is trying to get away from the American dollar now.
Yep.
I just read that like 2-3 weeks ago. I don't have it on hand, but I remember reading that this big, I'm like, oh, that's big. Because Saudi Arabia is in bed with America heavy. Go ahead.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shield and helmet.
Read.
Gomer and all his bands.
Gomer is another son of Japheth. Read.
The house of Togarmah of the north quarters.
Read.
All his bands. And many people with thee.
Go ahead.
Be prepared.
Read.
And prepare for thyself. Thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee.
Everybody's under Russia, every country we just named and in the Bible, they're all going to come to war against the Western powers, which is mainly America, right?
And be thou a guard unto them.
Be a guard unto these other countries, because everybody's not as powerful as Russia. Even China, the British conquered Hong Kong, right? They don't have all of China, because all part of China is kind of like rural areas. Like, you know, they still have like bamboo huts, but the main city in China is what, Hong Kong. People wearing suits and ties there. Look like Vegas almost, right or wrong.
They gave it back to us.
I mean, it's still there, but I'm saying that they conquered them and they want to be Americans per se. But keep reading though, we're gonna keep reading. It says Russia be a guard unto these other countries.
Let's go into the destruction.
Exactly, I want to go into that. Go ahead.
And be a guard unto them. Verse 8. In many days thou shalt be visited.
In many days, Russia's going to be visited. Because at the end times, America's going to be destroyed and Russia's going to be at the top of the hill. But, oh, Salak, I want to keep reading though.
After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter days thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword.
Yeah, talking about the land of Israel, talking about the Israelites. You're going to go into the land that's brought back from the sword. We told you the picture of where the temple is, right? It's desolate. There's nothing there. That's what it means being brought back from the sword. It's already been destroyed by the Romans back in 70 AD. Read.
And is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste.
That land has been always waste over 2,000 years. Read.
But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
Yeah, all the Israelites that have been scattered abroad, once this prophecy is fulfilled, we're all going to go back to the land of Israel. Not based on 1948 and the Balfour Declaration. You already mentioned that earlier, right? It's going to be a spiritual thing. We're all going to go back to the land of Israel based on this prophecy. And other prophecies as well, but this is the main one. Read.
Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land.
Read.
Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee.
Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time
when you go back to the land, read.
shall things come into thy mind,
What was it talking about? Talking about Russia. Things are going to come into your mind. Read.
and thou shalt think an evil thought,
You're going to think an evil thought. Read.
and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Israel Because when the real Israelites get back, the rest is going to be like, oh, wait a minute. They're back in the land? I'm going to go to their land of unwalled villages and who's at rest. But God's going to be like, oh, no. It's going to explain it. Yeah, after the destruction of America, read.
And I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls,
Go ahead.
and having neither bars nor gates.
Yeah, because we showed you the land over there. There's no walls, there's no anything. It's just a temple mount, and that's it. It's just desert. And then it says Russia's going to go back there and think an evil thought. What thought is that? They're going to try to take over. They're going to try to kill them, read.
To take a spoil,
To take a spoil,
and to take a prey,
to take a prey,
to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
exactly, because it's inhabited now over there in quote-unquote Jerusalem. Where we showed you it's not inhabited. That's what it's talking about, right?
And upon the people that are gathered out of all nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land.
It basically references that. You got to go, brother?
I'll have to go, man.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks so much.
All the information's there. It's gonna go on YouTube. You got the flyer. I'm gonna probably put this on YouTube and probably like
Keep that good work,
it.
guys.
What you got? What's that?
Keep that good
All
work.
right, Brian. Be safe, man. Appreciate your time, brother. Oh, you need some fringes, brother?
Sure, what is this?
You gotta put them on your shirt or your belt buckle.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the laws of God. You know what I mean? So every day you walk out the house, you gotta have those on.
What is the meaning of it?
Let's get the meaning. Let's get into the laws of God. Because you're an Israelite, brother. You listen patiently. You accepted the information. You knew some information as well. You know what I mean? Especially coming from Brazil. You know a little bit, right?
Numbers 15 and 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes in the border of their garments throughout the generations, that they may put upon the fringe a border of borders of select, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders of ribbon of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember the commandments of the Lord, and do them, that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, which ye used to go a whoring.
So that's to remember the commandments of God.
Reminder.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? All praise to the Most High, brother. Appreciate your time, man. All praise to the Most High. That's an Asherite, man. Quam Asher.